All right, you witnessed the handover, so here we go. I got the new coin in my hand, so I'm gonna talk about it now. The South African Mint, a wholly owned subsidiary of the South African Reserve Bank, that's SARB, released the new R2 commemorative coin. I'm actually looking at it for the first time, into circulation on Monday, and its theme is environmental rights. Now, the coin was released in a bid to honour South Africa's democracy over the last 25 years. The R2 piece forms part of a series of 5 commemorative coins, a R5 and 3 collectible coins in gold, silver and bronze alloy. Joining us is Maaike Bakker, the young designer of the R2 coin that, of course, went into circulation. Good to have you, Maaike. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So this is actually the first time I've probably maybe had one, and you don't really look at the coin, do you? You just kind of,
that's exactly the thing. You put it in your pocket and spend it.
So now I'm actually looking at it. It's beautiful. Talk to me about the design.
So I think it was quite an overwhelming brief to receive. And it took a lot of planning, so I was asked to design the coin for the environmental rights in particular.
Yeah.
And I think because of our great diverse outdoors, it was quite a task to sort of bring all the elements in there.
Yeah.
I think ultimately the aim was to have elements that work together. I've included first some elements of nature, sun, water, and ultimately the plan was for all of these elements to sort of work collectively. Yeah. At the end of the day, the coin serves to sort of commemorate the rights to or our environmental rights, and ultimately that's what the design aimed to do.
Yeah.
And
lovely. Yeah. Well, look, we showed the back of the coin. Now, there's nothing different to the back of the coin. Producer's going to ask you to show the front of the coin. I don't know if you've got that photograph, because then you actually get to see the environmental side of it, and you can see that there's it's a flower, and there's what? Is there a flower there?
No, a leaf.
Is that a leaf?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
that's a leaf. But ultimately, the point is you also get to. The elements sort of form an image of their own, and I suppose it could be interpreted as a flower if one would like to.
I suppose it can be. But listen, let's ask the million-dollar question. How did you get to do this?
I suppose I was lucky enough to be selected. And as with any other sort of design-based brief that I've done, I received an email in my inbox. And at first I thought, this is quite unusual.
Yeah.
Is this for real? And then based on the agency that had made contact, I responded, and that seemed to be the case. So the design process started last year. As one can imagine, it's quite a lengthy process. A lot of sort of feedback goes into it. Ultimately, the SA Mint sort of made a coin for us to. I think all the involved artists, other artists involved were Lady Scully, Neo Mashlangu, Peter Mams, Rusty Knowles, and Sean Gaylord, and all of us sort of got to see our coins for the first time, which was quite an exciting thing. And then that was only this year, so it was quite a drawn-out process.
I can imagine, but it's such an honour. I mean, to have your name associated, your design associated with such a special coin. But obviously, it's in circulation now, and it's something that we're gonna see and get used to. And its value is R2. But when we talk to collecting coins and something like this, do they grow in value? I mean, is it worth sort of hanging on to these kind of designs?
I would say so. I mean, ultimately, for the R2 coins, I believe there's 6 million in circulation. And at some point, I mean, that is all that's been made. And at some point, if one sort of hangs onto it, I believe it will become more and more valuable throughout the years. I think the fact that it commemorates 25 years of democracy also sort of allocates additional value to it. So I think I would say if one sort of crosses your path, it might be a good idea to sort of hang on to it.
Maybe, I mean, just to keep them. Now, the R5 coin, is that a different design?
That is a different design. The R5 coin was designed by Lady Scully.
Okay, yes, as you were saying. So that, was it also focused around environment?
No, so each of the coins were focused on different rights. The rights that were focused on were that was established by engaging with a focus group, and it was all sort of born frees, and they all sort of discussed which rights were exceptionally important to them. And the R5 coin is the right to vote.
Yeah.
So one will see there's the 1994, the long queue, voting queue that's being referenced for that. It's quite a beautiful design in itself.
It's really lovely, and I mean the whole idea behind the youth and talking to the values of what what the 25 years mean to them, and what it is that their rights stand for. So it's really significant to hang on and do things like this. What is it that you do? Obviously, to be chosen to do something like this is your field.
I do quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, I'm an illustrator, I'm an educator, I'm a gallerist, or gallery owner and curator. So I would say I do quite a different range of things. Ultimately, all of these lead up to sort of design and art. So I also work in design education at an Open Window Institute.
Yeah, and the kind of design that you came up, did you have your freedom once you'd been given the brief? Freedom to go ahead and do exactly as you please.
Absolutely.
And then it was just approved.
So I think it was a conversation, but I must say the approval process went faster than I'd anticipated. With the scale of something like this, I assumed that there would be more of a back and forth. But I would say I got one round of feedback, implemented the feedback, and that was that. So it was quite a quick process.
Yeah.
I had a lot of freedom. I think I was encouraged to just go through the environmental rights part of the Constitution again, and obviously it took a lot of conceptualizing and planning. One needs to make sure that you address all the right things and that it's accessible. I think that's a big point, to make sure that ultimately your design is easy to sort of engage with, and that it communicates directly, because with a coin it's not something that you engage with for a very long time. It needs to communicate quite instantly.
Yeah, I adore this R5 coin. We've got that on air right now, exactly what you were talking to.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. The queue of people voting, one of the most iconic photographs and moments in South Africa's history to put there. And finally,
there we
go. Now we can see it properly. A round of applause. We can actually see it now without any shadows and lights and everything. So there is that beautiful coin that you designed, talking to environment and environmental rights. So as we mentioned, 6 million in circulation currently. That's it, no more.
No more.
It'll stop right there. So, I mean, do yourself a favor if you can. Keep it aside, and you never know, in years to come, it might be worth something. And we were speaking to its designer, Maaike Bakker, who is the young designer from Pretoria, who was chosen to design this new 2 rand coin under the theme Environmental Rights. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks for popping into
Super,
chat to us.
thank you very much.
All right.